Welcome to Work the Left Side. We are back, and I'm hyper hyped to announce tonight's guest. I am talking to the breakout star of the year at UKW, the one, the only Mr. SKV, Sam Kavelli. Sir, are you good?
I'm brilliant, thank you. It's great.
Awesome. Obviously, first and foremost, manners make the man. Thank you for coming on. Thank you. Again, always
my pleasure. No worries.
Happy when it's your time. You're taking out to talk to me. So yeah, always grateful. But dude, obviously, I'm kind of, I'll say, late to the party when it comes to UKW. I started going sort of back in August. I've always kind of known it's been around. Kept around people that are coming through, but I never went to the shows until, like I say, about August time. And then the brand turned up, so I was like, I'll go support
the
boys.
Yeah, I love the brand.
And yeah, I've been every week since. So pretty much from August onwards.
You started when I debuted, and you started coming back when I debuted.
Yeah,
I debuted actually in June, but then I didn't have my gear sorted and stuff. So then when I actually made my debut, it's like later end of August.
Because you had the matches with Brett, wasn't it?
I think so. My first match was Tom in June.
Yeah.
Then it was, I don't know. I've never had a singles match with Brett. I've had tag matches. It was Sean. It was Sean. Me and Sean.
Sean, sorry, that's it. I know it's Brett and Sean. Just all one or the other. It was Sean. You had a series, like a couple of weeks. You had like back to back matches, and then you beat him, kind of thing. And that was kind of like the the dude's arrived now. Here we go.
I mean, I think the match that really put me on the map was probably Joe, obviously, because Joe. But I can't say enough about that guy, bro. He's brilliant. Honestly, the stuff that guy did for me that night was insane.
It's Joe in it, kind of thing. I say, or Brett, Sean, Joe, or the Sedgwick clan. Awesome. But yeah, in fact, like Joe's probably, like, obviously for non-UKW fans,
the most
people know who Joe is through Blackheart, through wrestling in Newcastle and like other places. So yeah, to get
sky's the limit for that guy. Sky is the absolute limit for that guy.
Mate, I've had this conversation with so many people, and there's so many people I know out there. Just like, we just need more Joe everywhere. That's all we want. I want 21 Union everywhere. I want Seb everywhere. I want Joe everywhere. But that's it. I mean, you're part of that now, kind of thing. Going forward. Obviously, I spoke to Mason a couple of months ago, and I kind of said this. I had the same conversation with him, kind of thing, where I'm new to UKW. There's been awesome people come through it in the past, but for me right now, it's kind of like lightning in a bottle. I sort of said this my top 10. Every week when they announce the shows and I'm looking at the cards, looking at the matches, there's like 10 people that if at least half of those are on the show, happy days. I'm happy as well, kind of thing. But you're one of those 10, kind of thing. It's amazing to have 10 talents that I generally get so hyped about on one promotion at the same time.
I mean, our academy is insane. We've had UKW's academy. We've had Evan, George Hunter, the most recent. Obviously, me, Mason, Joe, all the Sedgwicks. So many, man.
Cliff
as well. Big love to that guy. He's insane. So underappreciated.
We love Cliff. Cliff's amazing. Obviously, Chris. It was just obviously when I was talking to Mason about it, those two are entwined to work together, kind of thing. But obviously, I know you've issues with Cliff, but your name came up during Chris's conversation because you two guys, man. Obviously, I've seen you tag a few times as well at UKW, and you just got that chemistry. You just kind of like, obviously, I know you're really close as mates, kind of thing, but that comes across in the ring when you work together.
I mean, we tagged on Monday against Brand. That was a fun match. I love doing that. But we just bounce off each other. Like, we can have a joking about, but when we're in there, it's serious. It's game time. We've got to lock in, as they say. So I just love working with Chris. He's got a great mind as well, especially with his age. The mind he has is nuts.
Guys, obviously, I mean, I saw you. It's in the intro. If people have watched the intro before we get to this, there'll be clips of you and Mason versus 21 Union as well.
Yeah, That was
a main event a few weeks ago. I think I went for like 7 minutes, and I was just like, no. I was just like, no. You guys could have gone for 20 minutes, and I could have just sat there and just bathed in it. It would have been awesome.
My other favourite match I've had was it was on Monday. It was not this Monday. It was one of the Mondays. Me and Mason versus Brett and Sean. I loved working. That was such a good match. I loved doing that.
Must be cool as well, though, obviously, because I'm given Brett and Sean's age kind of thing, but obviously because they're part of the clan, the family business.
Yeah,
I'm guessing they take responsibility as well for. Obviously, they're still learning, but they're kind of teaching as well. I would guess. I presume.
Occasionally, Brett does help him with training a lot of the time, and Sean will help out if need be. He doesn't necessarily take the training, but like if we're watching in the ring and like we're stuck on something outside, Sean is one of them guys that will come up to you and be like, "So this is da da da."
I know it's always special when when you get to go against kind of like, student versus a teacher kind of thing. It's that kind of a dynamic. It's that kind of like, it's just, it's cool for you to be able to sort of see where you stand in comparison.
Yeah, I mean that's probably why I love Joe, like working Joe so much. Because obviously it was that dynamic, and it was a test of, okay, this is the big leagues now. No pressure, but big pressure. So sweet.
Step it up.
Yeah.
Well, I'll get the generic question out of the way because we're talking about like training and everything like that, and obviously, just kind of starting the journey. What made you take them steps through the doors in the first place? What made you kind of think, right, I want to do this?
Well, I've always grew up with wrestling with my brother and stuff. My brother always used to wrestle in the living room and stuff. And then I started originally was end of January 2020. I went to BWR originally, and then COVID happened, so that all shut down. And I came back for like a week in August, and I had to move down south. So I was just like, I'll just lock in my education for now. And then if I'm still passionate on wrestling, I'll come back to it after it. And then I was looking on wrestling schools in 2024, and UKW came up in September, so I went there for a bit, and then my heart wasn't in it fully, so I stopped doing it in December. And I just came back, I was like, I'll miss it. So I locked in again in March, and then from there, just consistently
being. So really consistently, fully committed.
Yeah, since March.
Since March, dude, that's crazy. Because like I say, I'm seeing you smashing it on a weekly basis. Like I said, anybody who's watched the intro and kind of like can sort of see the highlights, little thing, you kind of got that smoothness already, that transition. You're kind of flying around. It's kind of looks not easy, but it looks natural. You've got that flow already, kind of thing. I
mean, I've had the I'd like to say the experience of obviously previous training sessions, but the most training sessions I got like knowledge wise was probably when I came back and locked in March, because I was so focused on it. I'd come home. That was the time when I'd come home and I'd watch wrestling as well, like study matches. Obviously, I'd always watch wrestling, but I'd study matches, how to do it in March and stuff. So it was just one of those things in March. I was like, listen, if I'm gonna do it, I need to go big or go home. Pretty much, this is the last time of you either want it or you don't.
That's crazy, but I mean, obviously you mentioned BWR there as well. Big fan down at those guys. I know sort of Seb goes down to train sometimes. But yeah, that school's awesome. So even just a couple of sessions there, one session there, it's amazing what might sink in, or what you kind of just remember, or just being around.
I mean, I think it was definitely Scotty at the time doing the training as well, and that's a great mind to learn from. Obviously, I wouldn't say that I got all my experience from BWR, but there's definitely one or two things that I picked up. I was like, okay, work on that and keep that in mind.
That's it, man. That's all it takes as well. It kind of sits in there, but then you can kind of bring it up and put other stuff on top of it, and it just all comes together. And it just starts to flow. But yeah, I mean, it must be exciting. Like I sort of said, I've just reeled off, that UKW at the minute, all the sort of talent that's coming through. It's got to be an exciting time to be kind of there. You're standing there, or you're getting to talk to or work with, like I said, George Hunter, Evan Bishop, Cliff Harrison, Chris Mason, Joe Sedgwick, Seb Mercer. It's just ridiculous to amount. Obviously, the brand are there on a weekly basis now. Dylan Dyer, Tony Tripadea. If I'm his name, I apologise. It's just ridiculous the amount of KT Gold as well. I want to shout that dude out. Obviously, you two have a few seriously quality matches. He's another guy that I think people need to be keeping their eyes on.
Katie is definitely one to watch. He's definitely a standout. Love working him every time. He's there's something that he gets it as well. Obviously with his age, he definitely gets it as well.
But just to be in the building, just be on these shows, I'd say it can't be a coincidence that since when I started going in August, I'm not saying since I started going, but I've noticed since I started going, nothing to do with me kind of thing, that, it seems to be getting busier and busier every week now on a Friday night. There's more. When I first started going, it was like half capacity maybe, no seats down one side. Now, most Fridays, it's nearly full and there's seats down both sides. And that's got to be from word of mouth of what you guys are doing in the ring.
Word of mouth has definitely helped. And I think the work and consistent we've been putting in is definitely elevated as well. Because we're all, every single person there is hungry, that they want it. Yeah. So it's very much who's the big dog around here kind of thing. Everyone's trying to prove it.
Step it up, kind of like, not sound cliche, probably say it every other episode, but like steal, shop and steal kind of thing. So you see like one guy doing something like absolutely smashing it, like, I can do better than that. So then
everything you can do, I can do better,
yeah. So everybody's leveling everybody up. But mate, it's just I'm guessing it hasn't gone unnoticed. You guys must be aware of that. And it's like I say, it must be exciting.
We've definitely been aware. I mean, Mason's been saying it because obviously he's been around. I don't know exactly when he debuted, but it was at least a solid 6 months to a year before I debuted. But he said it's definitely picked up since he debuted a lot more, because he was, I think it was sometime in 2024, and he was saying it was pretty dry out there. But over the 2025, especially over the summer and stuff, it's picked up.
Yeah. It's just like I say, you've got that wealth of talent there doing what they do. Just shout out as well. So I'm just having random flashbacks while I'm talking to you about shows that I've been to. I can't remember the name of the belt now. I apologise. I'm going to look like a right melt. But you beat Horace. You got Horace's belt
around the clock.
Yeah, around the clock. That's it. Is that your first title?
That is my first title.
Yeah, I thought it was. I thought I was going to be like, yes, dude.
Held it for a long time of an hour. So.
Mate, no matter. It shows in the book that you have held that title.
I held that title, yep.
Former champion, Sam Kavelli, Bosch, the first of many titles.
Hopefully, touch wood, if everything still goes to plan. That was definitely a moment that felt surreal. But obviously I couldn't really celebrate because I don't know who was outside the ring, but they was just eyeing me down for it. I'm like, no, I'm gonna go backstage now. Yeah, I'm shooting. So
in my head, I was playing like the Benny Hill music or something like that. There he's gone. He's gone.
I saw one moment. I was like, you know what, this is peak time. I've got to do it. Just run out there and just try there.
There's that photo out there though, you with the belt, and that's it, mate. That's timeless. That photo of you with the belt can't be taken away.
First time.
But you're on about before you started the training stuff, and obviously you were a fan of wrestling. Was it just sort of like obviously the WWE, TNA, AEW side of stuff, or it always amazes me like some people before they get into British wrestling, before they start training, they're not aware of the scene or how big it is, kind of thing, and it totally blows their mind once they kind of dive into that pool. It's like, shit, man, we thought this was a paddling pool, but it's an ocean. Sorry, man, but it's an ocean out there. The British wrestling scene is so big. Was you aware of it before you kind of jumped in?
Well, obviously the first promotion was obviously WWE and stuff, and then my brother was into TNA because he's 10 years older than me, so obviously he had all this AJ Styles and all that, so he was watching all that, and then because AJ Styles is his favorite wrestler, AJ Styles left to go to like Ring of Honor in Japan and stuff, and then so he was following AJ, and then obviously he picked up a few wrestlers from Ring of Honor in Japan, and then that was the time WCPW was about and stuff. So then I knew there was a British wrestling scene, and then I didn't watch it. If I watched a few matches, but I didn't follow it. And then when I started BWIs, when I picked up a little bit, I was like, okay, I need to watch this. And then I kind of stopped watching wrestling full stop in, I'd say mid summer 2022, and then I picked up again in the winter break.
Everybody does that. Everybody that I speak to, there's always that kind of like, I think I've done it like 3 times. I've kind of jumped in and jumped out, jumped in, it's just sometimes it just, if nothing's clicking or there's no decent storylines or anything like that, because, I can watch quality matches, but I need the stories as well, to keep me enticed. And every now and again, it just runs dry. I'm like, no. Thankfully, it's not for the last 5 or 6 years that's not happened. But yeah, everybody drops off at some point.
Because, well, I was watching NXT then as well. So NXT was booming from I started watching NXT weekly because it was on the network. Was it?
Yeah.
It was 2017, I think, when I started following that consistently. So I was watching Black and Gold a lot. And then it was 2022 when they went to NXT 2.0. And I was like, what is this? What have you done to my brand, bro? Like, what are you doing? And I stopped watching. And then that's when Carmelo Hayes and Braun started breaking out. I was like, okay, these guys are actually good. So I'm going to start watching these again. And then obviously NXT is back booming.
Mate, that's prime time. Just wrestling for me, that is like probably the best of the best. Probably one of my favorite eras of wrestling was that NXT period, that 2 or 3 years of NXT. Like I say, I still rep the undisputed era. It's just, we had those guys in there, like Pac, like
Chris, not Chris here, Cassius Ohno.
Yes,
that guy should have won a title there. I loved Chris Hero. Cassius Ohno should have won a title in NXT. I don't care what anybody says. North American at least.
Yes, I fully agree with you with that kind of thing. And then, like I say, it was only an hour at the time, but it just felt special as well, kind of thing. It's like, you can go more. Yeah, and then it went to more. I was quite happy with that. Some people didn't like it, but I liked the 2-hour thing. It was like, you know what? They've got that much talent. It works anyway, so it's fine.
Yeah.
But that hour thing was just like, you could go 2 or 3 weeks without sort of seeing somebody. And then when they turned up, it was just like, oh, yes, we get to see this person this week. It's freaking amazing, It's just, it was, that to me is still probably my favorite time in wrestling.
One thing that I thought was really cool what NXT did was when they signed new stars and stuff, and then it would be at a takeover to show them in the crowd, because that way it gives them more. It gives the talent more exposure. They could be like, "Oh, who's this they're showing?" They go search him up, Google it, and then they watch these great matches that they've done elsewhere. So that was definitely a smart thing for them to do.
It was, but it was so on WWE as well, because obviously normally prior to that, they were so guilty of changing people's names or not embracing the history. It's like these people didn't exist before we signed them. It's like no, like say embrace it. Let people know. AJ Styles was obviously the exception.
Yeah.
But then NXT was just like, you know what? Yeah, we want people to know what's outside.
Know who these are. But NXT is definitely booming again now. I mean, they've got great talent. Obafemi, Leon Slater, definitely, Javon Evans. But they're all going to the main roster now, so it's kind of one of those where it's going to be a transitional period, I think, for NXT. So just hopefully it goes well.
Maybe. Thankfully they've got the TNA connection now. I mean, maybe. I know he was unsuccessful.
Yeah.
But it's only a matter of time before a certain Bradford boy maybe gets that NXT title.
Hopefully.
Dude, I mean, that is obviously Leon's doing what Leon's doing kind of thing. But for British wrestlers, for people getting into it or people that are still early days in the journey, to see Leon doing what he's doing.
Oh, absolutely.
That must just be like, you know what? Anything is possible, mate.
Anything is possible. Because before it was mainly Regal and Bulldog, the main standout UK wrestler names and stuff. But they was obviously quite experienced and vetted in the business. So Leon, being as young as he is and as talented as he is, it's like, okay, if you just lock in consistently with it, boom, you could definitely be at that height.
That's it. Because I'm just, again, obviously I've spoken to people that are 20 years into the journey, a couple of years, 5, 10 years, and it seemed, but at one point before, I don't know, maybe I think it changed 5, 6 years ago, but prior to that, the main goal was to get enough bookings that they could do it for a living. That was the top of the tree kind of thing. That was that going to Japan or going to America, it wasn't an attainable goal. That was a pipe dream. But now it's kind of like, you know what, that is very, very possible. You know, it's within my grasp. Like you said, if you just knuckle down, if you lock it in and just go, why not?
I think social media has definitely helped with that, with your exposure and stuff. But the main thing is probably just consistency. Like I know I can't half-ass it one week, put in my best next week, and then I'm gonna be like, no, like I've got to give my 100 every single time. I can't just go there and just be like, no, I can't bother.
That's it, like you said, because of the socials and stuff as well, though. Because if you have a bad week, that could be the one week that somebody sees it on YouTube and
Exactly.
It's like, well, I'm actually like, no, I've seen that Kavelli kid once, wasn't impressed, and just because you had a bad week, it's like, no, that's all it takes. I mean, if you have a bad week, if you give it 100% and something doesn't quite click, no harm, no foul. You gave 100%. That's all you can do. But yeah, if you half-arse it one week and something happens, you've got to look at yourself and be like, ah, shit, that's on me.
I am not good at keeping consistent with my social. I mean, this past Christmas, January break, my page was just dry. It was like a desert there, but it's just hard, especially with wrestling, because it's very niche in a way. So it's finding that content that's, because you can post anything wrestling, but you're gonna want something that blows, that's fitting with the times as well. So like you can get yourself out there. Because I could just post me just forearming someone. It's not really going to do a lot. If I post like a cool little clip with trending music or something, then it has the more opportunity to grow and stuff. So
yeah, I suck at that. I never look at what's kind of, I should do really, because basically I'm like not too much to your level, but obviously if I want to get eyes on what we're doing here, and I obviously want to do that because it gets more eyes on you guys when you come on, kind of thing. I should look at like say trending music and stuff like that, and use maybe things that will pop up on analytics and stuff. But I'm just like, no, I like this song from 20 years ago. Okay, I'm using this song. That's it. I'm very stubborn. I'm very much like, I like this song. I like this. This is what I'm doing. If it clicks, it clicks. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
That's one good thing I liked about how the years I grew up in wrestling, because that's when it started like changing music wise. So a lot of my music taste has come from it, because it went from like Limp Bizkit and all that to rap now and stuff. So I've grown up with both sorts of music. I mean, I like every kind of music. So I'm very fortunate in that department, for trending sounds and audio and stuff.
There you go. You've got one up on me. I'm like, my taste in music is wide. I don't have a set genre anymore. I've kind of I've always sort of said that's something when you're younger, you're kind of very stubborn in the sense of like I like metal, or I like hip hop, or I like any other genre kind of thing. But as you get older, it's kind of like, I just like music. I don't care what genre it is. Just
if it sounds good, it's going in my playlist.
There we go. Exactly.
How it works.
Yeah, that's it. That's how it should be, because it's just like, yeah, that's awesome. But like I say, you mentioned the social media thing there, dude. That's like, because to me, that is a key thing of being a wrestler. You kind of got to, I know it's hard, but I've always kind of wonder, like when people start the training, obviously I know people you have to learn the basics, the fundamentals, the techniques, all this kind of sort of stuff. That's key. That's it. But our schools sort of talking about using social medias, because it's such an important platform, especially for guys like your age, like say starting off and wanting to get themselves out there. To me, it would kind of make sense for someone to be like, look, once a month, let's help up your social game, kind of thing.
I mean, it's been said like once or twice, like you need to use your socials is good for branching out and stuff, but it's never really been something that they've locked in or made a main subject kind of thing. Because social media isn't the only way to get out there, but it's probably the best way to get out there.
Oh, I know, yeah. I mean, you've got the networking. You want to get to shows, you want to get people. For me, it's just like I say, I don't know squat. I'm a fan. I'm sat on this side of the curtain, kind of thing. This is just me talking off the top of my head, kind of thing. Like I say, what I say, it's not educated. But yeah, you've got this platform. It's free to use. Instagram more than any, probably, obviously, because it's all visual. You've got the reels, video clips. It's like having a CV online. If somebody does want to check you out, gosh, and if you get the followers on Instagram and somebody books you, they're going to be like, well, this guy's got like 1,000 followers. That's potentially 1,000 more eyes on my show.
Yeah. See, wrestling didn't really make me aware of social media. It's more of just like the big influence and stuff. Because, I mean, you look at TikTok recently, how many people they've made famous from dancing and doing nothing, and how they've made like generational wealth and stuff. So that's probably the big thing for me with social media, is knowing it doesn't just have to be wrestling where you can branch out and get
Yeah.
yourself aware, but it can elevate your wrestling, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I've got, I kind of, I mean, obviously I'm older, you know, but I've got an 8-year-old. I've got 3 kids, you know, 2 in the 20s,
Yeah.
one who's an 8-year-old. My youngest watches YouTube like it's a TV channel. You know, that seems to be the thing now, you know. And it's kind of got to that point now where I've created, me and him we've got a YouTube channel like for him called Awesome JXT. We play board games or we just do silly ass things, bottle flipping, because he wanted to be a YouTuber. And I was like, mate, that's fine, you know, if that's what you want to do, I'll help kind of thing. But yeah, like so I said, it's just having that source or outlet where people can come and see what you're doing. It just seems to be like, yeah, the new go-to thing.
It definitely is something good. I think the main thing with me in social media as well is I was really scared at first to like get my face out there. Like I don't know, I was very, I wouldn't say scared of what people thought, but just thought might think I'm a bit of a goon now. But you know, I don't care anymore. To be fair,
Embrace it, man.
It gets, you know, if it getting more eyes on me, it's potentially helping my wrestling career. Who's a winner? Like
you are doing, I say from a fan's perspective, mate, you are doing something that most of us have only ever dreamt of. So
yeah,
get that out there, man. Let people know that you're doing this kind of thing. It's just sorry, it's that kind of sidebar off into socials there. It's not a massive thing, but like I said, it's weird to me that you've got this free platform, and as I say, it's just man, just definitely it's free advertising, but going old school, networking, you know, getting out.
Networking. I definitely need to network.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, do you still get to, besides UKW, man, do you get to go to any other shows or sort of check out local promotions?
Not yet. I'm definitely looking to like go and watch some more. It's mainly just money at the moment because wrestling is such it's really expensive hobby. It's fun to do, but if you want to do it full time and actually try and make a name for yourself, you've got to travel there. You've got to sort your gear out. You've got to pay for training. You've got to do this, that, and the other. So it depends what you want to do. If you want to do it for a little bit of fun, it's attainable. If you want to do it for a career, you've definitely got to make some sacrifices as well.
Yeah, I think you can kind of tell. I think it's got to that point now as well where you can tell the people who want to do it like as something to do on the weekend, or people that want to make, you know, an actual go of it. Like, so the ring gear is definitely the first giveaway kind of thing. You can kind of tell. Like, as people get more serious, the gear improves. Obviously, everybody starts off with like generic stuff, or that's how it is. But as their journey goes on, or as they get better, and they kind of build up that confidence, it's kind of like, you know what, I'm going to invest a bit of money in myself. I'm going to buy some new gear, and I'm going to buy, and it just keeps getting better and better. Well, the gear gets snazzier. You can kind of tell, like, okay, the person's growing in confidence as well because they're like, you know what, I'm going to invest in myself.
That's probably the best thing with wrestling. You need to invest in yourself a lot. Obviously, I'm not the biggest of guys, so I actually need to start hitting gym and getting a little bit of a better body for it. But invest in yourself in any way you can. Body, gear, even investing in your social media as well for like better camera quality, all this and the other. And that's one thing I'm definitely going to try do in 26.
I mean, like you said, the body, and that'll come with time, man. You know, that'll come as you get. Say like as you'll get older, kind of thing. I don't like, but yeah, you know, everybody's still growing, kind of thing. I mean, Joe's it still blows my mind like Joe's 21 because he's started putting on the muscle now, kind of thing as well. He's getting big, healthy. You know, Evan, George, those guys. But yeah, that comes with time. You know, that's something. I mean, look at Leon Slater a couple of years ago. The dude was like, he was tall.
And he's just body slammed over Femi on NXT, which is insane. That pops me.
But just comes with time, dude. Actually, so again, well, we talked about other promotions. Obviously, one that you'll know because they've started using like Crisco's there now, and obviously Seb and Joe and everybody else. Mate, if you can jump in a car with somebody, or if you can hang on to the roof, I don't know. If you can get yourself to Geisley, man, get yourself to Blackheart. That is one that I would definitely be like, mate. If you're going to check out anywhere else, Blackheart is the shop.
I think that's where I'm off to watch. Is it the first week in February?
Yes.
Yeah. Chris has came up to me and asked me to come watch and stuff. So I'm definitely going to consider going there if I have the correct amount of funds and stuff.
I mean, I don't know who fills up cars or who travels with who kind of thing, but you know, if somebody's going over, like I sort of said, there's a load of guys going that you know. So if
Yeah,
he's space in the car, I'm like, mate, come on, let me just sneak in. You know,
yeah,
so the guys there, I'll lay down in the trunk for 20 minutes if I have to.
yeah. I mean, I think I definitely can make it to the 1st of February. So it's definitely one that I 95% will be attended unless something bad happens. So, but touch
Do
wood
it.
that happen.
We love Blackheart. And more people that go see Blackheart, the better. And like I say, it just gets you out. There's so many people that you'll meet, you know, that you'll say hi to or, you know, get to know your face. It's just, yeah, it's an awesome place full of awesome people. You get to know those guys, become mates with extra people that are there. Ain't going to do you no harm.
No, absolutely not. It's definitely a place I'm looking to go and watch a few more times.
Yes, we love Blackheart. But I mentioned this in the intro, and I haven't really touched on it. You've just been awarded, you know, the Breakout Star of the Year at UKW. Given the names that we mentioned 10, 20 minutes ago, again, that is something, dude. You know, that's awesome. You know, that cannot be overlooked. That shouldn't be, you know, played down or anything like that.
Honestly, I was shocked. I was shocked myself because I thought George was gonna. I thought it's gonna be George. You know what? I'll get the participation trophy. I'll take it. You know, being in the same poll as him, cool. Bless. I'll take it. Right.
Yep.
I think I was. I don't know what was it. I think I was getting breakfast one morning in town or something. Check my phone. UKW texting the person like, okay, it's probably just gonna promote the first show back of the year. Breakout Star of the Year. So I'm like, what? Sorry, but I was gassed. I was so gassed.
Dude, but yeah, man, like I said, I just can't shout that out enough. That's awesome. Like I said, and it's just, like I said, the fact that George was in there, you know, Evan would probably have been in there, Chris would have been in there, so many other people as well that are just like, mate, yeah, that's amazing. And to say, I said, you kind of knuckled down in March,
Yeah.
kind of made your debut in June, kind of like came a regular from about
August, September. So that's
Yeah.
August to December. That's 4 months, which is insane. Which is actually like right now, it's like, okay. Because before the polls, I was like, you know what? It's going to be fine next year. There's going to be eyes on me, but I can still like train progressively and still get there. Prove my rookie year wasn't a fluke. Now I'm breakout star. Now I've just got to lock in, go all in.
Yeah. Right. Boom. Yeah, there we go. No pressure at all. But yeah, you know, next year, this year even, it's just going to be like, because again, like I said, you know, you are, when people come to the shows on a Monday or a Friday or Saturday night pay-per-views kind of thing, you know, you have very quickly, if not suddenly, became a fan favorite. You know, the kids that are there that run to the side, you know, high five everyone. As soon as your music hits, like, yes, kids, bosh, high five, high five. The fans pop for you, they make noise. There's no tumbleweeds. There's a few people that come out and just zero reaction. You always get a reaction, and it's just kind of like, oh shit. And that, like I said, that was kind of, yeah, that was just sudden. That was like, as soon as I saw you, I was like, yeah, mate, this. I was kind of like, oh, you must have been around for a little while because everybody seems to be like loving this guy. It's like, no, he's pretty much, they've just loved him from day one.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of that helps with just I went out there as be myself kind of thing. Obviously, the resilient one, it's very kind of not close to home, but it's definitely something that I do have every day kind of thing because being the smallest, there was a few jokes in school. I was like, just power for it, just get these guys, yeah. But I don't care. I could take a joke here and there. I mean, same with the fueled by grit. Because if I'm determined on something, I want to lock in on something, I'll definitely do it. Like my maths and English, I was predicted ones in my maths and stuff, but then I'll pass my maths. So it just proves if I just put in the work, put in the consistency, getting it.
Full vision. But yeah, man, I was like, so I say it helps. Like I said, you're coming out and it feels genuine, it feels real, it's legit kind of thing. And yeah, you're coming out doing your thing. But obviously, you know, when you start, it sounds weird saying, oh, when you start kind of thing. I'm obviously mindset now from March this year. But yeah, when you sort of like said you locked it in, did you kind of come into it just thinking like, I just want to kind of be me, I want to keep it as it is, or are you kind of? It fascinates me, like when somebody gets into wrestling, like do you go into it thinking like, oh, I want to be this character, or I kind of want to do this, or I want to be this kind of thing? It's like my mind would be going everywhere. Like, oh, I could be like a really freaky kind of character, or I could be just an absolute arse. Or do you want to just go out there?
A lot of it was I wanted to be the best version of myself possible, kind of thing. Like I've definitely seen character development since I've started wrestling. I've definitely I'd say I'm a lot more. I don't know. I'd probably say I'm a lot more humble outside and stuff. Like I wasn't a saint by any means before wrestling and stuff. So I've definitely toned down. I'm definitely a lot better as a person now, naturally and stuff. So I just wanted to be that kind of person. I wanted to be a role model where when kids come to the shows, they're like, "Oh, you know what? I want to follow what he does." But I wouldn't have been able to do that without wrestling, kind of thing, because wrestling has changed me a lot. So I had to change myself, but I knew what kind of change I had to do. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Dude, that's probably like I sort of said, like I was saying before, like sort of think the kids reacting and be kind of like, being drawn towards the kind of thing. Like sort of said, that makes perfect sense because they're looking at you, being like, yeah, man, if this guy's doing it, he's still young. It's again, you're making it obtainable for them. They're looking at you now, being like, man, this is something I can do when I get a bit older.
I mean, I think the main thing I want to get across to most of the fans, especially young ones, is adapt. It's just adapt because I am not big at all. I am quite small, obviously. I'm hoping to change that quite a bit. But even then, if I do bulk out, I'm still quite short. But even then, I adapt to the ring. I use everything around me to my best advantage. So just adapt to anything situation you've been given.
I said it works. I mean, then that's what that in itself is. I say you look at wrestling, you look at the great wrestling stories or great wrestling rivalries. The best ones are always kind of like the underdog story. You get an underdog in there that you can relate to, that you can kind of root for. Mate, they're over like Rover straight away, kind of thing. Which is like something like say yourself and Chris. You've got that in spades, mate. You come out and people relate to it, and then just kind of like whoever you go up against, I'm just going to boo them. They can do one. Like, you guys are my guy. You're my underdog. I'm rooting for you. I don't care who you're against. You're the boy, or you're the man. It's like, yes.
It's I like being an underdog, but I also want to get to the stage where it's I've done this, I've built this. Eventually, when you overcome the struggles and stuff, you will be able to get to not this level. That sounds really egotistical, but when you put in the work and stuff, the results will come out in abundance and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, you can only be the underdog for so long. You can only overcome so much stuff before people are like, forget
He's
that.
proved himself. That's probably the best way to put it.
Yeah, this dude is on like top tier level footing with everybody else, kind of thing. But you can ride the underdog thing for a little bit, as you sort of say, as you're kind of building that momentum.
Yeah.
And as soon as that momentum's built, dude, everybody's fair game. I mean, you're going into things being the favourite. You're going in there being like the people's champ. You're like, yes, there we go. I know this guy's awesome. I've seen him beat so many other people. I've got zero doubt now that he will beat this guy. And then that opens up tons of other things to do in wrestling. Different stories, different things to characteristics, things you can mess about with.
That's one thing I love about wrestling is the way there's so many paths it can have. With any match, anything, it can go so many ways. And it's so, especially not just like match wise as well, like, oh, he might actually get a roll up and score a shock win, or he might actually just dominate him or something like that. But even the stories as well, like, oh, underdog's fighting back, or it's going to be, oh, he's no longer the underdog, he's the top dog now, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's it. He's proven himself. It's storytelling of the finest when it's done right, kind of thing. It's like, again, I know this is about like a massive crossover. I'm a massive film geek. I'm a massive comic book nerd. I'm kind of like a massive mark for wrestling kind of thing. But all three things, to me, a common the common factor between a lot of them is if it's done right, they tell amazing stories. Comic books, films, wrestling. It's all just larger than life characters telling stories. Real life superheroes kind of thing. It's just like, to me, that's wrestling to me.
I don't know. There's just something about wrestling where you either like it or you don't like it, and it's not for everyone. But
oh no, God, yeah, I'm happy with that. I think everybody's. If somebody likes something I don't, fair play to them. I'm not going to besmirch them for liking something if I don't. That's fine. It's just not my cup of tea. If I don't like a certain kind of music, I'm not going to say it's shit. It's just not to my liking. But yeah, blessing's the same. Everything's subjective, which is awesome because if somebody doesn't like it, but you can kind of convince them to, or you can kind of swing them and you get them into wrestling. It's like, yes, welcome to the dark side.
I love how niche wrestling is as well, because I saw this on social media the other day, and it was something like this guy was in the airport. He took a picture with Mick Foley, wrestling world, a legend, an absolute icon. But obviously, Mick Foley, now he doesn't look like a wrestler anymore, really. So he took a picture of him, and he just had people come up to him and be like, why do you want a picture of that guy? Like, which is so insane with how niche wrestling is, because obviously people know the big ones like Hogan, Austin, Cena, Rock, all of them. But the actual ones who are a little bit low key but still considered legends in the game, people who don't watch wrestling at all will be like, "Who's that guy?"
Foley for me is in my top 5. I love Mick Foley. Quick question there. We're talking about, like you sort of said, the top guys, things like that. So that's another thing that gets me as well is like, when you start wrestling, do you kind of go into it with influences? Do you kind of go into it thinking like, well, I kind of like, I want to be a bit like that. I don't want to be that guy, but I'm using this guy as a source of, influence kind of thing? Or is it just a bit of this, a bit of that? Or do you kind of go in and be like, I've got to try and just be me. I don't want to be an obvious rip-off of somebody.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very influenced by early Chris Jericho, WCW Jericho, and obviously a lot of the WCW guys, and even the ECW guys at that time, Styles as well. A lot of the guys who some made it, some didn't. Kind of.
You are old for such a young dude.
Well, it's my brother. My brother is he's the one that got me into a lot of the wrestling. So. But it's one of those where I want to put my own twist. Like my Lion Soul, I do it to them standing. I'm doing my own thing. I mean, obviously, I'm not the first person to roll with the code breaker, but it's something I thought, you know what, it's cool. I'll do it with the code breaker. So yeah, it's for me. It was I want to be like them, just more of a paying homage than ripping them off.
There's nothing that's not already been done. There's nothing you can do really that hasn't. There's a few exceptions, obviously, to the trend, but yeah, there's not much that hasn't already been done. So all you can do is like say put an extra sort of bit of stink on it and make it a Kavelli, a Kavelliism of what this was kind of thing. You like you put the roll into it, or like say you hit the flip with the standing. It's a move we've seen before, just done a little bit differently. So it's yours.
Like I love Jericho, but it does not mean I'm going to come out on the next UKW showdown with a list. Like I've got to do something different. It's
exactly. Talking to Jericho, right? Again, obviously, I had the pleasure of talking to Cliff a few months ago. Now, kind of lost track of time, and obviously we ended up talking about Christian and stuff. But I'm not the only one who said it. I brought a few of my mates along with me to UKW now, kind of thing. And as soon as they see Cliff, they're like, "Dude, just looks like Lionheart. He's just Chris Jericho from WCW." I'm like, thank you so much, because like I essentially was like, no, I'm Christian, I'm not Jericho. I'm like, wait, you are. Just you look, even the hair, the way he stands, his build is very similar to Lionheart. Like, it just blows my mind.
I'm trying to picture it now. I don't know who if there's like a picture of both of them between. I don't know who I'd fit.
It's Lionheart. Cliff is Lionheart. Even with that,
I'll give it Lionheart.
He's got the stance. He's got like, I'm like, dude, you are so WCW. Not in a bad way. He's not trying to be him. If anything, it's a compliment. I'm like, mate, I'm getting such an aura of. Because for me, that's my favorite Jericho. Anyways, WCW Jericho, like when he was just a whiny little bitch and the Ayatollah of rock and roll, kind of thing. Dude, I mean, you mentioned like ECW and stuff there, mate. Like, so there's just that to me is awesome. Because I like it when people of all ages kind of. I'm a big fan of saying like to people like even if they're starting the journey, you need to go back and watch like WCW like 97, 98, the cruiserweights, or ECW like Mysterio and Malenko and Eddie and that kind of sort of stuff. So the fact that you're watching that, mate, charges my soul.
I love that time of wrestling as well. A lot of my music is 90s as well, most of it. So I just love that time probably because of the music associated as well. But it's just the way they set out. You got Rey Mysterio, you got Super Crazy, Psychosis, Malenko. You got all them names. You just watching it. It's like, wow. I mean, that's why I don't really like WWE on Netflix, because you can't really watch it anymore. But YouTube and stuff. So
I know I was good when it over to Netflix. I was doing like a series on here where, like myself and JC from True Grit, we were going back and watching every pay-per-view from '97 from WWE and WCW kind of thing on a month-to-month basis. I was loving that stuff, and then it went over to Netflix. I was like, oh, I've lost my WCW.
Yeah.
Even started watching WCW 2000. I was like, it's car crash TV, but it's amazing. Mate, it's good, man. Give it another go. There's some of it is just like captivating, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. But it's just kind of like some of it's so bad it's great, and some of the other stuff is like, yeah, actually it's all right. You know what? There's a few diamonds in the rough. Sean O'Hare and those guys, natural born thrillers. Mate,
I'll give them, but it's also one of those where it's.
It's not for everybody.
Not many people really look at it and go. Not many people look at it and go, you know what? I'm gonna go watch WCW 2000. If someone said that to me, I'll tell them they need to be sectioned straight away. That is diabolical.
Oh mate, it's just me. They're just shit. I'll just put another nail in my coffin for the insanity plea. Like, yeah. So should this guy go to the mental ward? Yes. Why? He likes WCW 2000.
Each their own. I mean, with me, obviously, WWE was stinking during 2018, but I actually didn't mind some of the stuff. Obviously, they definitely could have done a lot more with the Shinsuke AJ feud, but it might have been because of the time of when I was growing up and stuff, and like school was good, everything and all that was good. So it might have just been, the time was good, so the wrestling was good as well. But I actually really liked 2018 WWE. A lot of it was because of NXT, but main roster as well.
Yeah, there was a few misses, but there was a lot of good stuff as well, kind of thing. But yeah, that was a massive miss. Was the AJ Shinsuke all just turn into kicking each other in the dick? No, why?
It was silly. I mean, one of the things I recently watched was 2019 Fastlane. When people talk about 2019, they're holding their nose and they're going, But 2019 Fastlane, you had, which match was it? There was Samoa Joe, Andrade, R-Truth and Mysterio, US title. That one's a good match.
Yeah.
My favourite match on the show is probably Aleister Black and Ricochet versus Gable and Rude versus the Revival. Good match. And then there was the triple threat between what's his name? Mustafa Ali, Daniel Bryan and Kevin Owens. And then there's the main event, which is that was when Dean Ambrose / John Moxley left, because they did this Shield final match. It's definitely a hidden gem, I'd say, for that time.
Yeah, mate. I totally forgot about that. You know, the fact that you had Ricochet and Aleister Black. As a team, and again, it's like I said, the Revival's still there. Anything to do with Kevin Owens has got to be Kevin Owens in the same match as Daniel Bryan. All right, yeah, okay, that's cool. I'm gonna have to backtrack and.
It's definitely one. If you have the time to watch it and you're like, you know, I really want to watch some wrestling, put it on. I skipped the first few matches because I think the first one was like, I think it was Shane McMahon and The Miz versus the Usos, and all love to it, but I'm not watching 2019 Shane McMahon.
No, I want to watch SummerSlam 2000 Shane O'Mac against Steve Black.
I don't want to see him hold the trophy for a tournament he was in for one match. No, no.
That is when. So the thing is, obviously, you go back and watch. Like Shane O'Mac has gone from being like the most beloved, you know, that guy who had the street fight with Kurt Angle at King of the Ring kind of thing. You know, everybody to being like, nah, F Shane O'Mac. Dude, no, took it too far. We no longer like Shane.
I still like Shane. But the 2019 just made me, what are you doing? Nah. You're too washed for this now.
That's it. Give me 2000 Shane O'Mac against Kurt Angle in that street fight when the glass just refused to smash.
even then, like in the Survivor Series matches for 2016-17, he was definitely putting in work. I mean, mainly 33 against Styles. That's one me and my brother. That's one me and my brother argue about a lot because I'm like, that's AJ's best Mania match, and he's like, no, it's AJ versus Jericho. AJ versus Shane McMahon. I don't get. I will say AJ Styles versus Shane McMahon is AJ's best WrestleMania match.
Ooh, that's a good conversation to be having, though. Yeah, I'm trying to think now. Right.
Because it was
Okay. I might have to have a go back and watch some AJ stuff and sort of be like, just so I can kind of throw my penny in the hat or throw my hat in the ring and be like, actually, you know what? This is his best match. And you'll be like, no, mate, still Shayna.
Because if AJ and Shinsuke had the time they was given, that easily would have been AJ's best match at Mania. And Mania 39, was it Orton that year?
I think I'd kind of dropped
it was Orton. I don't blame it for it was stinking. So I think it was Orton. Then there was the Boneyard match is good, but if we're talking non-cinematic and actual wrestling,
actual match.
2021 was AJ and Omos tag match. I think 2022 was Mania 38, so that would have been. Who had Mania 38?
If you know, put it in the comments. Yeah, I think. I'm trying to think now. So I stopped watching it, but I kind of tried to still pay attention to like what matches were going on and all this, that, and the other kind of thing. But yeah, I've kind of like, was AJ even on that one? Or was he out at the time?
He might have been out.
I think he was out. I know he missed a couple.
It was 38 or 39 he missed, I think. Or both.
And okay, well, obviously you've got the AJ connection. You know, like you sort of said, your brother's favorite wrestler. Obviously, a conversation that's being had a lot at the minute is, you know, is winding it down. People are starting to talk about now, you know, who is going to be AJ Styles' last match kind of thing. I know we mentioned him earlier. You know, the fact that Leon Slater is even in that conversation is amazing.
Slater would be cool.
But who would you pick as AJ's final match?
I think Leon Slater is definitely a shout.
Would it be a Gunther or Braun Breaker?
I can see. I wouldn't mind Gunther, but I feel like
it's not needed, is it?
It's not needed because the way it's probably going to go is Gunther's probably going to retire a few more legends, and then he's probably going to finish it with Orton. He's probably like, you as legend killer, now I'm legend killer. That's the way it probably will go, I assume. Leon Slater is probably the best pick to retire AJ.
I think it's got to be somebody like, say, like I sort of threw Braun Breaker out there as well. You know, somebody that you know is going to be a big star, if not already a big
Carmelo
star.
Hayes. I love Carmelo Hayes. I absolutely can't believe I didn't say that. Carmelo Hayes. I'd love to see him. Give him that little bit of a shine. Let him retire AJ.
Ooh. So, but again, this is, you know, wrestling at its best, you know, when you can sort of fancy book stuff, when you don't quite know what's happening and you kind of leaves it to your imagination and you sat there being like, oh, what if this, what if this, what if this, what if they did this match? Like, yeah.
I think the best idea I heard recently was for the Cena's last match. My brother was like, hear me out. Gable comes back. He's under the mentorship of Kurt Angle. Cena's cutting a promo. Gable comes out while Cena's cutting a promo in the last one. He goes, what do you bring to the table? Gable goes, ruthless aggression, slaps him, and then Gable retires Cena. Then you can give Gable a massive push. Gable is another one that's massively underrated, bro. That guy needs a push.
Love Chad Gable. Yeah, they so made the mistake back in the day when they made the other member of
Jason Jordan.
Yeah, they made him Kurt Angle's son. It was like, what? I don't know if they was just trolling us and everybody presumed it would be Chad. They're like, no, mate, we're going this way.
Like, I think they tried doing it because everyone at the time on social media and stuff was, oh, it's going to be Gable. It's going to be Gable. I think they just tried throwing a curveball in to make it like, oh, shock factor, it's not Gable, but then it's just, this is ass. Why? Sometimes the predictable option is the best option.
Thank you.
Like,
just because it's predictable.
To always throw in curveballs.
Exactly. Just because it's predictable doesn't mean it's a bad thing. But no, I love Chad Gable.
that time was trenches. And then a year later, they did him a Shorty G. Why? Why?
They've just done him dirty, haven't they? It's just seriously done him dirty. Fair play to him. He gives. That's another thing about with certain wrestlers. Again, whether you guys look at this, obviously from more of a student perspective, you've got certain workers that just. I think the saying goes, making chicken salad from chicken shit kind of thing.
Yeah.
They're just given awful ideas, awful gimmicks, and they just make it work. That just shows a level of determination that is unreal.
I mean, the one that's definitely memorable to me in the most recent times is Broke Corbin. When he went rich and then he lost all his money, and he made that brilliant. Fair play to Corbin. And same with Ziggler as well. Ziggler's always definitely a star I've favorited for a while. So whatever he was given, he's always put his best into it and stuff. I mean, there was literally a few weeks in 2017 where he'd come out as Ultimate Warrior one week and then Shawn Michaels the next week, and he still made it enjoyable because he's Dolph Ziggler.
But I mean, again, though, like I said, having that ability to adapt, that's a massive part of. I've spoken to a few people who've kind of summed it up by sort of saying being able to improvise. Having the. I don't know whether it's. I think people who, if they've got like a background in theatre or just drama or something like that, anything that involves standing up in front of an audience and having to think on your feet. Being able to improvise is such a key part, or it helps so much the further you get along in wrestling, because you're going to get asked to do things, or if you're going to go somewhere and the promoter will be like, got this idea, can you do this? And you're going to be like, okay, I need to do this kind of thing, because obviously I'm a professional. They're asking me to do it. I want to do it.
I mean, look at Shelton Benjamin when he had to do that Yoshi Tatsu thing. That was awful. But he took it and he ran with it. Obviously, from the interviews and stuff, he wasn't happy doing it, but he's a professional at the end of the day, so he's gonna do what his boss tells him.
He would, professional. To be a professional wrestler is to go out and sometimes make an arse of yourself, I guess.
Yeah, especially under late Vince.
Dude, no. But obviously, that's what I say. Trying to get you in that mindset. Then, obviously, going forward, as your star grows, as you start venturing out here, there, and everywhere down the road, you're going to be able. You I presume you're always going to have to be open to somebody saying to you, like, I suppose obviously you work face at the minute. UKW talks about it. You get a booking somewhere else, and they're kind of like, right, we like what you're doing, but we want you to work heel.
I think I could probably make it work. Obviously, there's a few bits in the ring that I'd need to tweak and stuff, but I know there is definitely a place within myself I can reach and then just amplify it to 100 and just because I feel like if I was a heel, it would be one of those things where it's kind of Miz, where he's a douche. You hate him, but when he's speaking, he's either talking facts, and when he's in the ring, he can back it up. Like I think it's one of those where I'd have to find some place deep inside me and then bring it out and amplify it times 100.
That's it. Because I remember reading somewhere, so like when you're doing it, like cutting a promo or doing the heel work, as gnarly as you are, it's still got to kind of come from something legit kind of thing. If you're pissed off or if you're annoyed at somebody, it can be the smallest thing, but you've just got to be able to amp it to 10 or 11 to make it feel legit. It's like it might just be that you sneezed and that person didn't say bless you. It's a nothing moment, but you've got to take that moment and just amp it up.
I mean, I've said it before. Miz is definitely one of, if not the greatest heel of the 2010 WWE era. Like I will die on that hill because he didn't do cheap. He would talk on the mic. He would get you to hate him, but then what he would say would be truth. Well, the whole was it Roman in 2017 thing, like when he's like, "Oh, you get all these shots. You're saying you're the big dog, and then this was his IC title reign. I've been here every week. This, that, and the other, proving up. And you can't argue with him. You don't like him, but you can't say he's wrong because if you say he's wrong, then you're wrong.
That's it. I suppose that's where like you said, it's just genuine. Like you say, it just winds you up enough to be like, the dude's spitting facts, but I don't want to admit it, and that's what winds you up even more. It's like,
And
yeah,
that's why you want someone to just punch him in his mouth.
the fact he's got a punchable face helps, but
Yeah.
dude, honestly, mate, it's just. But that's something down the line I'd be interested to sort of see, like the dark side of SKV kind of thing. It's like, ooh, yeah, we'll tap into that down the road. But dude, I said I would keep you for about an hour, which I have done. It's flown by, mate. I thought, oh, we'll have another 20. Nope, you ain't got another 20 minutes. Right? We better start wrapping it up. But dude, obviously, like I said, UKW, they are obviously being closed over the holiday period. They are back. They're back.
Friday.
They're back. You sort of said, obviously, Monday, Ignite, you and Mason took on the brand, former tag team champions, the brand. Obviously, yeah, we're going to have Friday night show. Dude, I generally sort of sit on my phone on Friday just waiting for, to announce the matches. I'm like, what? They're like, yeah. But you're looking forward. Obviously, then the next pay-per-view, I want to say, is it Retribution? It's not Retribution. No, Retribution was pre-Christmas, wasn't it? What's the name for the next one? Do we know it yet?
Rev Road, I think. Is it Rev Road? Oh, no, I've just know it's January 31st.
Yeah,
I think it's Rev Road. I think it's
dude, I feel like I try now, put you on the spot there, so we'll cut this bit out. By the way, buddy. But we'll just rewind a second. So yeah, obviously Friday when the matches come out. Do you guys? Can I kind of try and get Are you going to be on this Friday show? Do you know yet?
Not yet. Hopefully I am. Hopefully I can come back on Friday, show everyone what 26 is about. Breakout start of the year.
Exactly. Get that belt back off of Horace. He must be a fun guy to work against because again he's at the moment since the heel turn. I think Horace is amazing. The fans are just on him constantly, but he's kind of like he's making it work really well. And obviously as a face, mate, just gets you extra pops. Just slapping him.
He's great to work with. Obviously, I want my belt back, but see where the road leads us. To be fair.
Any big matches you want? Anybody that's you've got your sort of sights set on, kind of thing. Obviously, I would say Evan's out at the minute, but when Evan makes his return,
when Evan's back, it was supposed to be me and him at November. I want Evan soon come.
Mate, that is going to be because again, Evan's one of those guys that I hold like in the highest esteems kind of thing, and I think you two guys would make absolute sort of. It would just be art. It would be like, a masterpiece kind of thing. So I'm hyped, knowing that when he comes back, that's hopefully on the cards.
Bookshot as well. I feel like this would be a really fun match to do. I would probably have to write my will before, but it would be so fun to do.
That's the thing. Like I sort of said, there's so many awesome people there now, kind of thing. Obviously, if they announce you versus KT Gold any time of the week, I'm happy to watch that match. You guys could have a best of 7, and I would be in for that. So yeah, dude, I just think the possibilities are amazing, and I legitimately am hyped. Like I say, I've got my 10 talents on a Friday. If half of those are on the show, mate, I'm happy days.
I'd work Brett in the singles as well. Definitely, I'd love to work Brett, and I'd definitely run back Top Notch Express versus me and Chris, 100%. If we can, I love working that match. Or me and Chris versus anyone. I love teaming with Chris.
So yeah, you've got the tag team option, but I think you and Cliff as well. I think I'd like to see you. Obviously, Chris and Cliff have had that kind of entwine. I think it's time now. Yeah, we got a bit of Cliff versus Kavelli kind of thing, and just.
I mean, we had a little glimpse of it. When was it? 19th in the Fatal 4-Way.
Yeah. So he's just kind of teasing it. It's like yes, but dude, I'm just getting overhyped now. Like, again, this is the fantasy booking thing that I was on about. It's like when wrestling's done right. Because I can sit here and be like,
the possibilities are endless.
Yes, that's it. I'm not looking at it being like, I know what this is. This guy's going to fight this guy. Nah, it's not exciting. But yeah, there's so many roads that they can go down, and I'm just excited to come along for the ride. But dude, do you want to let people know where they can find you on the socials, be it Instagram or Facebook or TikTok or wherever?
Instagram is Sam_Kavelli, and I'm not going to lie to you. TikTok. Quite sure. I'll plug it. I'll plug it on my next video. So I'll make a video on TikTok and I'll just put it on my Instagram. So follow my Instagram and I'll run it up that way.
There we go. As I sort of said, as always, my boy Ash on Instagram will tag Sam in on the post to let you know that the episode has been uploaded. If you're not following Sam, give that follow button a hit. Check out what he's doing going forward. If you can get to Batley on a Friday or Monday night, go see these guys in action at UKW.
For a pound.
A quid. It's just crazy. Just bring a blanket in the winter. It's freaking cold, man. So cold. I've stopped buying coffees, so I think they're making the money off of the coffees now. It's like, we'll make it a little bit colder, sell more coffees. Jobs are good. That's why it's only a quid. They make the money on the coffees, man. I'm telling you.
Probably. I mean, I wrestle shirtless, so it sucks.
I can't even imagine. Like, I'm sat there with a hoodie and a t-shirt and a vest. I've got like 4 layers on. I see you guys in the ring. I'm like, dude. When you if anybody gets slapped as well, I'm like, that must have an extra stink on it because of the cold.
How Seb wrestles in trunks surprises me.
He's Irish.
Different.
It's just I don't know. Yeah, it's just a machine anyway. Is Seb? Obviously massive shout. I've not really mentioned Seb during this, obviously, but. Again, somebody else I'd love to see you go up against. I think you and Seb. Obviously, when we've kind of seen you and Mason against 21 Union and stuff like that, or interactions I've seen briefly before.
It was the first or second weekend in September I had a match with him. I'd absolutely love to run it again though, because I've definitely grown a lot since then as well.
That's what I'm thinking going forward. I want to see 26 Kavelli versus sort of Seb. And it just, I don't know, just do it every 6 months, and you can kind of be like, right, okay, that's tons better than that. That's tons better than that. That's tons better, and you just see the progression. But yeah, hit that follow button, see what Sam's up to. Like I say, if you can get to Batley, do so. We'll see you there. But yeah, as always, I'm going to say thank you for watching. Hit like, subscribe, share, comment, all the generic stuff we ask you to do. Keep your eyes peeled. Plenty of more stuff coming up. Plenty more guests coming up. But yeah, that's it. I'm pretty much done. I'm going to let Sam go because I've kept him longer now than I said I would. But honestly, thank you so much. It's been a genuine pleasure.
No, it's been a pleasure too. Take care.
Always work the left side. Goodbye.